turn that off and turn it on. Oh, did that work? I don't know yet. Well, the internet's being a little dicky. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Houston. We have a problem. And I don't know. Did the intro work? I don't think it did. So try that again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's the stuff. Okay. Welcome to Houston We Have a Problem, episode 104. It's Friday. It's after dark. I've got dogs and dead ducks on my shirt, a monkey butt under a blanket, and let's chit-chat about what's been going on the last couple of days. Facebook is toast. Everybody hates the metaverse. Everybody hates Mark Zuckerberg. Only boomers and hate groups seem to use Facebook anymore. Yeah, they got hammered. So what happened was, after hours on Wednesday, they got just beat down to nothing, along with Twitter, Pinterest, PayPal, Snapchat, and then all day Thursday they were just destroyed as well. And so whoever took out puts on those folks made just a fortune. And then at close on Thursday, they fired them all right back up again, except for Facebook, really. And they all just probably bought a bunch of calls and then made a fortune on them today. And that's kind of the biggest, baddest thing that's happened for the whole week. And my guess is that generated a whole bunch of liquidity, and expect margin and just hammering down on the meme stocks. So I bet next week is ugly, if that's the case. So yeah. Next thing we gotta wait for, I think, is when interest rates raise, because that should hit the market as a whole. So a lot of folks are hedging against that and buying, puts on the SPY and calls on the VIX, and I think they're like ramping up towards that. So there we go. Monkey, do you have anything else to talk about? No? Just some side eye. Had a lovely walk today. It was very windy. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Lay it on me, folks. What do you got for me? Heather Lee, Houston to deceased. Someone's been pointing lasers at aircraft around SeaTac. Saw an article. And my first thought was, this is a job for Meta-Air. Yeah, 12-year-olds love to point the laser pointers at stuff. And they don't think they realize that, like, they're blinding a pilot when they do it. But the laser beam that might leave your laser pointer would be, let's say, 1/8 of an inch thick. And by the time it gets to an airplane that's 5 miles away, it's probably the size of someone's head. So it just dazzles their entire brain because it disperses eventually. Yeah, so that's, hopefully someday they're smart enough to, like, hire a lobbyist to go to DC and to lobby the federal government to require those glasses, because that would give them like $1 billion industry right off the bat. Because what do people do with glasses? They lose them, and they got to buy them again. And then you'll have all like the private pilots who want to be cool like a professional pilot, and they'll get their own glasses and stuff. Yeah. Michael's probably George himself trying to get the ball rolling. Aaron F. Happy birthday, Houston. My prediction, Olympics end, China crashes, U.S. crashes, MOAS in June. What do you think? I think it's a good bet that for anything to happen, it's going to happen after the Olympics. And that's when Russia waited to invade Ukraine. They waited till the Sochi Olympics were over, and then they invaded Ukraine. So, they didn't want to do it during. They didn't want to do it before, because that would ruin their whole, look at us, we're the center of the world thing. So, yeah. J.M. Gill, new HIV variant discovered from the Netherlands that leads to AIDS twice as quickly. Did not hear that. Well, how about that? You probably want to, wrap it up if that's the case. Online entity. Have the daily update. Can we get more COVID ranting, Houston? That was awesome the other day. Yeah, kind of. Sometimes I just got to yell at people. And I just felt like it on Wednesday. Cleared the air. If anyone needs to get yelled at, you can just go back to the last show. Go to what's hour and 20, and I'll yell at you for another hour. So, yeah. And it sounds like my mom hopefully will get her new hip in April, but not if another variant comes sweeping through and then it's put off again. So hopefully we'll get her a new hip one of these days, and she won't have to like limp and drag her leg around. That'd be fantastic. Netherly loves this shirt. It's a good shirt, isn't it? It's just a nice marshy bog with some dead ducks. Which hand? This one. Just dead ducks. And, got to have life and death on a shirt. Tells a story. Why is there an echo? Is there an echo? Do I have an echo going on right now? I only have one microphone going. I don't know. Is there an echo? I don't think so. If there is, meh. Oh, it was you. Okay. So sometimes I'll screw that stuff up and actually have my microphone on twice or something, and then all of a sudden it says a chorus of Houston coming through. Okay. G Vegas 223, thoughts on the warehouse burning down? Fishy AF. I haven't verified any of that stuff yet. What's that? What's the name of that company? The Citra? Is that the name of them? The short hedge fund that was really mad at us last year. Apparently, their head got his computers raided by the FBI, and then this document warehouse burns down. Supposedly, TD Ameritrade keeps stuff there. I have no idea. That's the rumor. I haven't verified any of that stuff yet. So, if so, that is fishy. But in this day and age, who doesn't have electronic backups of stuff, right? I guess you've hit the delete key and burn the warehouse down. You're good to go if you're trying to hide things. But, Did you guys read about the dude in Florida who cashed a $33,000 check and then his bank branch, the Bank of America branch, just closed and his money just vanished? Like, what? That's probably not good news for Bank of America. They're closing branches all over the place. And the branch here, I don't think they're open. I think they've been closed for like a year, which is really strange because I live in quite a wealthy neighborhood, like the community, and those rich folks, they want to use money, so I don't know why. Probably too hard to hire tellers because they won't pay them enough, be my guess. Spartan, bonjour, Houston. Any thoughts on B-Big? Nothing more than what I had before, which is last fall they were reported at 270% short. And that's when I bought, and then the price went after that. And they're doing a spin-off for another company for their dividend. I thought that was going to happen in December. Originally it was supposed to be October 15th was the marker day, and then they're going to offer something after that, and then apparently it became December 27th, and I have no idea where it is on there. I just know that they are incredibly shorted, and the price has been hammered, and like everything else. So I got my little bit just in case it rockets up there, and I can take another trip to Switzerland or something on that. That'd be lovely. I would love to go to Switzerland. Yeah. Okay. All right, warehouse question. Oh, dang it. Then just reset again. Ah, you stupid chat. You're always resetting on me. Swing trader to Mars. Facebook and TD Schwab records went up in flames in the same week. Nil 21981. What happened to Amazon? Looks Lynn? Amazon got shorted with a lot of those guys. I think they popped right back up again. Their big news is that they're raising the Prime subscription fee another $20 a year. beyond that, I don't know. I honestly don't know. They're a behemoth, and they make so much money, and they control so much that it'd be silly to short them. Jersey sent me a thing showing that, what is it, Apple, Google, and Amazon? Like the value of those three companies is like 33% of our entire GDP, which is insane. Market caps are so screwy. They don't make any sense. Market caps do not make any sense. So you have a company like Tesla, which is not even the top 40 manufacturers of cars in the world, and they're the most valuable car company at trillions of dollars. And then you have a company like GameStop, which 2 years ago was making $5 billion a year in revenue, and you could buy the entire company for $200 million. None of that makes sense. That doesn't make sense in any way, shape, or form. What those market revenues mean. I talked about that in my first interview with Josh Hamilton about Materion. Materion Corporation owns the beryllium mine in Utah. They are the world's only source of beryllium. 99.9% of all the beryllium on Earth comes from their mine. They own it. That mine has $150 billion in minerals in it, and you can buy the entire company for like $1 billion. That's insane. If they wanted to go out and sell that mine on the market, they'd probably get $40 billion for it. But you can buy the whole company and obtain that mine as well for just pennies on the dollar. Market caps are so screwy. They don't make sense at all to me. So I don't know where it's going with that. Amazon something. Yeah. Me and my tangents, man. Go murder a monkey. You see the $800 puts being sold on GME. Yes, and they're quite hefty. There's a lot of them going through, which is very strange, right? Because if you're going to buy an $800 put right now, it's going to cost you $700 a share. Someone's dropping 70 grand plus on puts. That's nuts. But okay. I mean, if the price goes up, I don't know, what do you think, Bunky? Price goes up $100, you just made a fortune right there. Yeah. So, that tells me that they know the price is going up, and it's got to go up. I'm interested to see what Gary Gensler produces next week. So we have the proposed rule about basically eliminating swaps or really heavily regulating them, because we know that they're using swaps to reset failures to deliver, right? So you got a T35, you get the T35, you just trade your debt with somebody else, and it resets. All of a sudden it comes in the T35, and then they trade with someone else later, and they just pass the hot potato down around. And so it sounds like the SEC wants to eliminate that practice, that loophole. And then we've got the transparency rule, which supposedly isn't going to go into effect for 3 years. And then Gary Gensler said that 85 to 90% of the whole market was trading in dark pools, and he did not like that, and to expect a flurry of regulations about that next week. And next week starts on Monday. So we may see a whole bunch of rules about dark pools, and perhaps, hopefully, eliminating them entirely, right? So that would be awesome. I don't think dark pools should exist in any way, shape, or form. The reason why they exist originally was so that like a company could be acquired. You are Nike and you want to buy a Reebok. You go to the Reebok guys and say, hey, we want to buy you. We'll do a deal, and we'll pay I don't know, $100 a share for 100 million shares. We'll take a majority of your company, and we now own Reebok. Reebok goes, okay, and they do that deal in the dark pool and not through the lit market, because it, all of a sudden a buy order for 100 million shares would cause a store price to go through the roof, and that's why dark pools exist. Then the short hedge funds discovered that they can just trade stock with each other via these dark pools and suppress a buy pressure and keep the price completely suppressed as well. And that's what they've been doing with the majority of stock trades for a long, long time now. And so we don't know what the value of half these companies should be, because we never see the transactions for them. So if Gary Gensler proposes some sort of awesome murder the dark pool rules next week, I will actually be thankful. It's about time. We need to do it. We need to clear the air, make this stuff visible, and make it actually a free and fair market. BTW brand, the markets are so rigged, they pumped and dumped the biggest stocks in the market like they were toys. Yeah, there's no way you can look at what happened and not see illegal manipulation. That was straight up illegal manipulation. There's no way you take really powerful stocks and you hammer them down one day when you bought a gajillion puts, cash out those puts, and then fire the stock right back up after you bought a bunch of calls. Like, why'd Snapchat get hammered down 20% and then go up, 65% or something? And it's all after hours, right? Like, oh, nothing ever happened is after hours, therefore, no, it's absolutely shady. So shady. And it was totally illegal, and I hope a bunch of people go to prison for it, because that is straight up manipulation. It's garbage. Billy Miles, Houston, can you explain what blockchain is? Blockchain is everybody checking your work. It's like, you took a test or quiz in your math class in 7th grade, and your teacher said, trade your work with somebody else, and you grade the other person's work. It's sort of like that, where everybody has a ledger, and they can confirm exactly what you did. So, oh, that guy did over there. Can you check that too? Okay, we got 12 people verifying it. That's all blockchain is. It's just a digital way of sort of confirming other folks' work. And there you go. Some of the blockchains are secretive, like you can't look at them. Other ones you can look at them, like Ethereum. You can see what wallets have done what work where. And then Murano is super secret, so drug dealers can get their cash from Colombia to a bank in Cyprus like that. So, there's different kinds of blockchains out there. But the blockchain that's been proposed for the stock market is essentially the QSIP numbers become sort of an NFT of sorts, and then you break up the stock into a whole bunch of coins, and those are where it's traded. And you can't make naked ones, so you can only trade actual physically existing ones, because the ledger won't let you do that. And what's inside the DTCC right now is a ledger that you can fudge, and you can write in the margins, you can scratch stuff out, and you can do all sorts of weird things that you can't do with the blockchain ledger. That's a good enough explanation for me. Hope that works. Carlos Rayo Cruz, I left Facebook and social media a long time ago. Glad I did. I enjoy myself a good social media yelling at people. It's a great way to distract myself. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I love getting in Twitter fights. It's my favorite hobby. I used to spend way more time arguing with people on Facebook, but Facebook just annoys the crap out of me. It's Facebook. The only people I'm friends with on Facebook are pretty much people I met in real life, and those folks, it's for kid pictures, talking to long lost cousins and friends from high school. It's a different animal than what it used to be. I don't think half the people that are friends of mine on Facebook are even aware that I do a podcast or that I'm a niche internet micro celebrity. They're just like, Houston's doing his weird shit as always. Paulie V, why is it so important that they keep hammering AMC? Because AMC has 500 million shares, and if you're short on 500 million shares, say several billion shares worth, then this year 29 billion AMC shares trade hands this year, or 75 billion, something ridiculous. If you are short on a stock that has 500 million shares, and that stock gets to $100 or $1,000, you're looking at, 50 billion. Oh, sorry, 50 billion to $500 billion valuation. That's insane. If you have a valuation that's that much, and you've got billions of naked shares out there, then your liabilities are in the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars, and there's no way you survive a margin call. You cannot raise enough liquidity fast enough to keep from being liquidated. So they have to hammer AMC down. They have to hammer GME down. They have to hammer every single one of those meme stocks down, because if any of them gain a weird, significant amount of value, that takes that margin that's way up here and just makes such an uneven playing field for that 30-to-1 rule that margin calls are going to happen, and then they have to get liquidated. And that's it, man. That's it. Brandon T. Hey, Houston, as a Canadian, I feel I will have to pull MOAS gains out of U.S. dollars. Wouldn't the Fed printing like crazy U.S. dollar post MOAS tank the dollar hard? Happened in 2008. Yeah. But right now, everyone's currency kind of sucks. The euro is, I was there last week, is like $1.14 to a euro. Used to be like $1.50 not too long ago. So the euro's down quite a bit as well. I think most folks, their currencies are meh. But although a large portion of why oil is approaching $100 a barrel is because of the weakening of the U.S. dollar. But since we keep trading certain fuels and commodities in U.S. dollars, it makes the U.S. dollar sort of the global currency still. Today, China and Russia announced a natural gas deal. They're going to be trading in euros, which I found interesting. But probably because Russia was like, I want the ruble. And the Chinese were saying they want the yuan. And they're like, we'll do euros. Because they both want hard currencies, what they want. But they don't want American dollars. No. So, yeah. Casey Chapman also asks, Houston, how would the Fed printing money for the squeeze affect inflation? Well, inflation would probably go up, but at the same time, if MOAS is happening, then the rest of the economy is getting completely hammered. So there's going to be a little evening out there. If the rest of the economy is getting hammered, then people aren't going to be driving. The price of oil is going to drop. Housing prices are going to drop. So there's going to be a lot of markers for inflation that get a lot cheaper. Although I'm sure that Lamborghini prices will probably go up. So, there's that. And Squamps, monkey butt looks so comfy. Are you comfy? Yeah, you're a comfy dog. Yes, you are. You're a comfy dog. You had some good run around the beach today because you're a comfy dog. All right. Paraterran, Houston, how you been? Do you think to where want if could shall when to if want when be? Also thoughts on TD Ameritrade burning their own building. What is it with you and the double speak? The TD Ameritrade thing sounds sketchy. I want more news. If you guys have more up-to-date news reports, send them to me. All I've seen is the tweets so far, and I haven't been able to verify anything from a picture of a building burning and a couple of JPEGs of what supposedly are addresses and stuff. So, yeah. Projason, Houston, do you know about the guy that made the Mona Lisa famous? An Italian Louvre worker stole it, took it back to Italy where he thought he'd get a reward for bringing it home. Yes. He stole it, took it to Italy because he had presumed it had been stolen from Italy, only to discover that the Italians sold it to the museum. And he was like, "Aw." He was just a janitor. He was a janitor that worked there. And he was a Viva Italy guy, and so he wanted to stick it to the stinky French. But yeah, that's that heist. It wasn't really a heist. He just sort of took it off the wall, and it was a completely unremarkable painting at the time. People didn't care, but because it had been stolen, is what made it famous. And if you go look at the Mona Lisa, it's like that big. It's not big at all. It's very kind of unimpressive. You're like, oh, and then. I'm not sure if it still is, but I didn't go this time around. But it was front of like this giant, thick, bulletproof glass, and there's 10,000 people trying to take pictures of it. And I wouldn't mind breaking into the Louvre one night just to look at stuff and not have a crowd in my way. That'd be something. Nicholas Alvarez, look up the cop from Willy's Wonderland. Who is the cop? Someone said that last time. I don't remember the cop in Willy's Wonderland. I remember Willy's Wonderland. Willy's Wonderland. Who's the cop in Willy's Wonderland? Okay, cast. Kelly Toller, Christian Del Grosso, Taylor Tower, Beth Grant, Tyree Hill. Which one was the cop? I don't know which character was the cop in here. David Sheftel? Grant Kramer? One of those? Show more. You have to help me. So let's go to scene. Let's go to Chrome. Willy's Wonderland. Done. Okay, which one of these folks are you talking about? Which one was the cop? There's Nicolas Cage. Definitely not her. Definitely not her. That was one of the kids. That was another kid. That's an old lady. There's a black guy. Jessica Graves. I don't know who that is. Not her. This guy? That guy? That dude? Not him. I don't know. Tito Turtle? Probably not. Ozzy the Oz. I don't know which one, man. David? This guy? Is this who you guys say they look like? I mean, I can kind of see it. Not as much as Dylan Francis. You know, you guys know Dylan Francis? That dude is definitely Francis, American musician. This dude, if we ever meet and shake hands, I think we may both vanish into nothing. But yeah, that dude is definitely related to me somehow. That's the Houston right there. That's freaking me out. I want to know if like my dad strayed sometime in the 80s because it's weird. A friend of mine, I didn't know who this person was a couple years ago. And a friend of mine's like, check out this music video. And I watched the video. It wasn't music. It was like a comedy video of some kind about dads in a neighborhood or something. And Dylan Francis is in it. And my brain went, I don't remember making this video. That's how eerie it is. I think we'll be able to tell each other apart because he's got tattoos and I don't have any tattoos. So that's how people will tell us apart when we do the Spider-Man thing. We'll be tattooed Houston versus not tattooed Houston. But this is definitely the first real doppelganger I've truly seen where I've been like, holy shit, that looks way too much like me. I was roommates with a guy who looks like Liev Schreiber. And the weirdest thing is that Liev Schreiber's dad lives on Bainbridge. And so we're commuting on the ferry, and Liev Schreiber's dad walks up to us, and he goes, "What the hell are you doing here? You didn't tell me you were in town." And my roommate, who's British, he was like, "Huh? I don't know who you are." And he goes like, "Oh my God, you're not my son." And so as a result, my old roommate and Liev Schreiber's dad are friends on Facebook. So, you know, it's weird doppelganger stories for you. All right. Where were we? Printing money. And then TD Ameritrade building, TD warehouse fire, blah, 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 blah. Italian lube. Okay. Oh, crap. And of course the chat resets while I'm trying to scroll. Okay. Steve. I'm Steve and mess up your name again because I was Gahagen? Crap. Sorry, Steve. I watched the rant at 1.5 speed. It was intense. I think I dropped a lot of... that was more of blue language than you normally use. But, you know. What are you going to do? I want my mom to get a new hip and be happy. A BW Brand says the guy at the Bank of America said he deposited a cashier's check and made it out to the bank. He paid the bank. That's just a dumb part on his job. Okay, and yeah, that's not as as screwy as I thought it would be. Yeah, don't write a check out to the bank if you want the money. You write it out to yourself, right? Jason Blackwell, Houston is March the month of the MMTLP divvy. I think March is the month that it becomes Oil Co. And I'm not sure exactly. Oh, sorry, there's a hair that's like dangling from my glasses and bugging the hell out of me. I'm not sure exactly if that is when they're going to announce the sales of the oil field. There was an oil field near the University lands in Oregon that just sold for $900 million. That's a fraction of the size of the University lands oil field that Torchlight had. They're trying to sell. And with oil pushing $100 a barrel, you're looking at $43 in profit per barrel of oil. So you've got $400 billion in oil in that field. So selling at $1 a barrel should be no problem whatsoever in this kind of economy. 2 years ago, that would have been a giant problem because oil was falling off a cliff as a result of the onset of the COVID lockdowns. But, $1 a barrel, that gets everybody, I think I did the math before. Let's close the calculator. So let's bring the calculator up. Boom. Calculator's on. Turn off. Where are you? Turn off Chrome. There we go. So it's 145 million shares, right? So 4 billion divided by 145. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oops, I did that wrong. I only did 400 million. 4 billion. There we go. Divided by 145. There. All right. So yeah, $27 a share. If that's a $4 billion sale, that is solid. That is definitely everybody can go on a ski trip to Switzerland and afford to actually eat out for their meals type money. So, yeah. G-Fund YYC, thoughts on the Great Reset document? No, I have no thoughts. Send it to me. I've not read the Great Reset document, so I don't know. I don't have any thoughts on it. So send it to me and I'll give it a read. There's so many different sides to the Great Reset that when one person says it, it means something completely different to somebody else. And therefore, so I don't talk about it. Right? One side is the Great Reset is we eliminate all debt and we start from zero and life is good. Another side is the Great Reset is genocide against huge swaths of the population and then everything's owned by one corporation. So I generally don't talk about it because it means something different to like every person who mentions it. It's like a very connotative phrase. But, send me whatever. There's so much conspiratorial speculation that what are you going to do? All right, I don't know. Meow meow. I don't believe that TD Ameritrade would burn up their files. Why would they? Really great, wonderful, awesome people don't do that. By the way, I'm on drugs. Oh, Nick. All right. Kyle Griffith coming in hot with a bad joke. Houston, if all the water makes up about 70% of the earth and all that water isn't carbonated, would that mean the world's flat? Boo. Give you the hook. Drag you off the stage. Julianne, can you give me too long didn't read what the SEC is trying to do with the new rules, and do you think they will actually put teeth in it? I've lost my faith that they will make anything painful for the rule breakers. The two that are recently proposed is the transparency rule that forces every 15 minutes to update reporting on short interest. So both the borrower and the lender have to update every 15 minutes. In the document on like page 128, somebody in the chat a couple of shows ago asked where did the 2025 implementation come from. On like page 128, there's a phrase about this new rule being such a burden that they're going to give 3 years for everybody to like spool up to where they can do that. I linked the document on there, and it'll take me a while to find it again. But if you look at the chat from like 2 shows ago, it should be inside there. but and then the other rule is the one that supposedly will limit the ability to do debt swaps, equity swaps, variance swaps. A lot of these swaps are used to reset the failures to deliver. So basically, failures to deliver don't mean anything if you can reset them just by reassigning ownership to that obligation. And so they just pass this stuff around to each other over and over and over again for as long as possible. And you get these crazy giant liabilities. You know, I remember Boss Blunts or even Charlie or a couple of those guys just scrolling through these huge debt burdens of, you know, Washington Mutual and Wachovia subprime mortgages from 2005 that are in these giant debt swaps that are getting passed around. And so, you know, there's like quadrillions of dollars in liability that is never being acknowledged because they just keep passing it around. As long as you're passing it around, no one is responsible for it. So I think the goal of the SEC is to they're gonna have to blow up the system. I think that's what it is. Is that if there's any great reset, it is going to be they're gonna have to go, oh crap, this thing is so unraveled. We just have to like burn it down and start again. And that might be a good part of that swap elimination loophole, eliminating that swap loophole. Because if no one has to ever pay anything back, then folks don't get their money. And if folks don't get their money, then what the hell are we even doing here? Okay. So Citadel decided to literally cook their books. BW Brand's the first time I've ever seen her bark. Yeah, she doesn't bark very much at all. She's not much of a barker. Only every once in a while when there's like a door opening which she doesn't expect, does she like and you know, want to go kick some ass. But she's not, for the like if she hears the Amazon truck or the UPS truck or whatever show up, all I sense is, I might not hear the car, but all I'll hear is her tail against the bed going. And that's my alarm system, is her tail wagging. So, yeah, that's you. I know I just woke you up with little thumps, but it's okay. Because you're a sweet little dog. Yes, you are. You're a little sweet little dog. A little murder animal. Around 60 million January 3rd. 950 puts sold. Wow, that's a lot of puts for that. BW brand dark pools. I don't like that. Did this guy crawl out from under a rock recently? Jason Blackwell, Houston, every time you say echo, my Alexa starts asking me questions. Let's do an experiment. Hey Alexa, play Connected by... Oh crap, what was that band? That didn't work. Alexa, play Coldest Sun by Danzig. Let's see if everyone's home start doing that. Alexa's going to say, I can't play that song. It's only available on Amazon Music. But here's some songs by Danzig. Patty Mills, stock buyer here. Heard you're going to do interview with Denmo Trading. They call him the Seer. I'm definitely marking my calendar when the date is announced. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I haven't actually gotten actual contact with him yet, but apparently people have told him about it, and we'll try to get something going. Okay. Let's see here. Matt Arnold, Houston, did you see the Gary Gensler interview on Bloomberg? I saw clips of it. I didn't see the whole thing, but that's where he said that like 80% of the trades are dark pools, which, you know, if you are the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ or one of these other lit markets, you're going to want to lean pretty hard on the SEC to get rid of these dark pools because you're losing a lot of money. For every trade that doesn't go through there, you're losing money. And so what's the point of listing stocks on your exchange if no one's going to use the exchange, right? So, yeah, there's definitely an interest from the big stock markets to get that stuff going through there. Plus us, retail traders deserve to see what's moving. Meow meow. For the 372 people watching, Friskies makes gravy packets for your kitty's pate. It won't help the Jamie squeeze. I'm just sharing. Fridays are so weird. Kyle Banta. Apparently there's a class action lawsuit against Metamaterials. It looks like we got scammed. No, we didn't. That's all from the Carrington hedge fund that shorted Metamaterials. They had their lawyers pretend like they're doing an investigation and suing, but it's all bullshit. There's what are they suing about? What's the class action about? They haven't even named terms of what the class action is. So yeah, that's not going anywhere. But Citadel and Knight both illegally started trading the MMTLP shares that were not supposed to be traded. So if you're going to sue anybody, you sue those guys. That's where the shady shit's happening, is Citadel and Knight. Those guys are at the center of all this crap. I mean, Knight 10 years ago almost went under from naked short selling. They almost got wiped out from that. Okay. Carysdale. Sorry, I said the wrong. I think I said Carrington. Carysdale. Thank you, Chris R. Yeah, that's Carysdale trying to destroy Meta. They've done that before with other shorted stocks they short, is they make this big long Twitter thread about what a garbage company this company is, and everyone should get out while they still can. And then this law firm, like a day later, will be like, "Oh, we're announcing an investigation into this corporation." You're just a law firm. Who gives a crap? Your investigation means nothing. You are not the federal government. But they'll act like they're investigating some sort of crime, and then they'll start saying things like, "Oh, we're going to file a class action lawsuit," but they never actually say what the terms of class action lawsuit are. And their goal is just to drive the price down on bad news. It's market manipulation. It's no different than when those same guys paid Jim Cramer to shit on a stock for them. It's manipulation. That's what it is. I mean, if you're going to attack a company, you don't want to attack a company that has gigantic ownership from like the Canadian government and lots of dollars. Lots and lots of dollars. They've got so much money. It's silly. I mean, Goldman Sachs offered them $500 million for the company before the merger and got laughed out of the room because they knew that there was a whole bunch of liability, especially on the torch side, from naked short selling. And they thought, if we can just buy this company, we can just delete everything and be fine. And that's what they're hoping for, but they didn't offer enough money at all. Truth Seeker, don't even see your friends on Facebook anymore. It's all ads. It is so many ads on Facebook. And for some reason, Facebook has decided that all I care about is tactical armor, shirts that say things like, a real man is a forklift driving, wife fucking gun toting real American bastard or whatever. And the Daily Caller, and I don't give a rat's ass about Ben Shapiro, so I don't know why. Like for a company that's noted for taking all your data and catering things, they do a really shitty job catering to me, and I just can't scroll through that thing anymore. PDS. If you see an ad for fuzzy dice for your car, millions of people like the fuzzy dice. Yeah. Oh, and there's tons of scam ads on Facebook they don't do anything about. That's the other thing. Like, it's one thing to advertise, I don't know, a car to me or something, like, buy the new Ford F-150. It's another thing to, like, advertise, get this DeWalt tool set for $99, and it's like a $5,000 set of power tools. Or they always want to sell me, like one of those tough sheds. Like, get this tough shed for $99, and it's like a $4,000 shed. And then you read the comments, and it's like, I ordered this 6 months ago, and they haven't delivered anything, because it's a scam. And so Facebook is making a ton of money off of advertising scams for people, because Facebook has like no ability to moderate anything. They are just a terrible company. And I read an article a while ago about this guy who worked at the content moderation, which is actually a subcontractor. And it was in like Arizona. And he described like the suicides at work from the things that people had to see, and how, there'd be beheadings and murders and horrible things that violate children and stuff. And they would have to look at the stuff all day long and like delete. And then they would get other things that were from other groups, and this guy would want to delete because it was horrible or whatever. His boss would be like, no, we're not here to delete that stuff. And it might be from like white hate groups, and it was very, very weird article. And then they all got paid dirt, and if they weren't, and they didn't have any like access to mental health, even though everyone was seeing like really horrible things all the time that would cause trauma. It sounded like a pretty crappy job. Yeah, and so the fact that Facebook doesn't do it itself and they subcontract out tells me they don't actually care in the end. Yeah. Daniel Batchelor, what are your thoughts on obtaining silver and gold? Get it now would be what I would do is get it now before everything hits the fan, because when the market goes, gold and silver go. So that's what you do. It might be a month or two later, but they'll climb back up there. AJ, happy birthday! Happy birthday! BW Brian Limba says they are going to be all electric soon. Most cars, I think, are going to be all electric soon. Everton, Houston, do you think Hedges is preparing to short GME or having a margin for a big running? Yeah, they got to keep the value down if especially the market's going to drop, because if the market drops and bonds drop and everything else drops, and their assets of management shrink, and that makes their obligations to margin much, 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 much higher. Michael F., when do you think we will see AMC hit 50 again? Whew. Depending on how much money they generated Thursday and Friday, doing the horrible stuff, the tech talks they did, it might be a while before we see a good run on anything. They raised a lot of cash, and if the sell-off of crypto or the infusion from Sequoia and Paradigm or whoever that was, into Citadel was any indicator, when they got $60 billion to use to just hammer us down, they're going to do it. They know that this is a... How do I put this? Like, Monkey, give me help here. Like, if they let one of these stocks get away from them, if they let one of these stocks just boom because forced buying from failures to deliver, or a whole bunch of calls go in the money and they to have all these obligations from naked options, if they let one of these things run away from them, the jig is up. And so they have to suppress the price on every single solitary one of these stocks, because folks like you are out there every single day identifying a new heavily shorted stock, letting everyone know, and then we're all looking at it. And the minute the attention turns, we're like, oh, look at that one right there. The hedge funds go, oh, crap, because the price starts to run again. And they have to hammer it down. So they're spending so much time playing whack-a-mole on all of these stocks they shorted that they're devoting time and energy and just a host of their assets under management into keeping this stuff under wraps, in a sense. Yeah, so this is desperation. This is massive desperation. They are no longer focused on making money for their clients. They're focused on purely surviving. And that's why you have such terrible returns for these hedge funds right now. Because their liabilities are gigantic. Remember, if you have a $10 billion hedge fund, you have $300 billion in liabilities. And if those liabilities are not diversified, if those liabilities are spent so much on short attacks, then any one of those stocks going out of whack and becoming tens or hundreds of billions of dollars more in liability, you're toast. Poof, you're done. You have no more company, which is why guys like Gabe Plotkin are out there trying desperately to keep clients from disappearing. They're talking about making a long-term fund that you cannot leave. Why Citadel has limited how much money their clients can pull out. Their clients are prisoners at this point. And if you are a millionaire or a billionaire, why would you join a hedge fund anymore anyway? Like, why would you trust your money with these folks when none of them can outperform the S&P 500? Doesn't make any sense to me. You just put it in a Vanguard fund, get your annuities, and you're golden. You're not going to lose anything. Okay. Leon Alexander, so you believe banks will be bailed out if the squeeze is as big as it can be? They'll have to be bailed out. The economy can't survive without banks. If you don't have banks, you don't have home loans, you don't have credit cards, you don't have car loans, you don't have student loans, you don't have small business loans, you don't have short-term loans for payroll, for anything else. So if you don't have banks, your economy is toast. So yes, banks will definitely have to be bailed out. For sure, 100%, you have to bail out the banks. You might let a couple of them die and then let Chase or something gobble them up like they did last time. But you definitely need to have banks. You can't let them crash. BW Brand, I've seen a 32K by 32K scans of the Mona Lisa. Cannot recall where I saw those. You can see all kinds of things in that painting, the cracks, the varnish, the opacity of the deep layers. Deep work. I would love to see something like that because all I saw was a tiny little lady over the heads of like 100 people and their cell phones all in the way. That's it. And the last time I was at the Louvre last weekend, I was on the outside. I didn't go in because the line was gigantic. But it was just influencers dancing and getting their photographs taken everywhere. The number of influencers who were wandering around Paris with photographers wearing skimpy outfits was phenomenal. Absolutely just a world that you might see on Instagram, but then oh yeah, there are people that actually have to do that. And they're all right here pretending to hold the little pyramid at the Louvre or pretending to hold the Eiffel Tower or, sticking their butt out against the Eiffel Tower or whatever. I'll be honest, Instagram has made Paris have a lot more giant butts walking around than there were the last time I was there. There were just giant butts and skimpy clothes all over the place. Anywhere there was a view of a monument, there was a giant butt with somebody taking a photograph of it. The future is weird. That's where we are. We are in a weird future full of lots of just big muscly butts walking around Paris, getting their picture taken over and over and over again. And it's pretty funny because they all do it the same way. You got your photographer, and they're like, okay, stand right there. I'm gonna click, and then immediately whenever I took one picture, the model would come back over and she'd look at it. She would get some sort of say something to the person, and the person, okay, and then she would take a slightly different pose, click, and then she would come back over. In the past, didn't the guy just go click, 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 give it to me. But I guess the director is the person who owns the Instagram page or the OnlyFans or whatever it is they're doing. And so they want to every single image. They want to make sure it's exactly what they want. Seems really time consuming that way. You just take 1,000 pictures and then throw one up there, I guess. But yeah, a lot of big butts. A lot of just giant, huge, big butts getting a picture taken with the Eiffel Tower. Jordan Kimmery, what is the government actually doing with the crypto they have seized, trading it, sitting on it, waiting to dump it all? If one could only see. It's up for sale every once in a while. If you go to GovSales, they changed the website. One sec. Let's find. I just realized I'm still in small Houston. There's a whole bunch of Dylan Francis. It's not govsales.gov anymore. I'm put it in there anyway because that's the only website I remember. No, they got rid of the page. Government auctions. It's GSA auctions now? GovDeals. GSA auctions. Sometimes they have them listed. Might be under miscellaneous. Let's see. Trailers, photographs, office, medical supplies. They had this past fall, there was a federal auction that came up, and they had dozens of Bitcoins for sale that went for half the price of what they're going for in the market. But you got to buy the whole thing. You can't get a fractional one of it. You're buying this whole like Bitcoin that was seized. I wonder if it's in miscellaneous. Comes diesel engines, cable locks, tents, shelters, humanitarian rations. Might not have any right now, but the GSA auctions page has had them in the past. Let's see if we can do. Go back. Gov deals, USA auction sales, maybe here. It might be seized. No, it's got to be back at the GSA page. This is the old govsales.gov. Yeah, the GSA one is what they switched to. So it would be on the GSA auctions.gov when it pops up. They'll get it from FBI or from the Marshal Service or whatever, and they'll pop them in here when they have it. And they'll have sometimes cool vehicles. A lot of random ones that come from, park rangers and stuff like that. But every once in a while it'll be like Lamborghini Countach. You're like, what? But yeah, great place to buy cars. You can get some low mileage cars that just were taken care of by a motor pool for pennies. Yeah. Sometimes they're in Hawaii, so it might be hard to get them to where you go. Anyway, big Houston. Materion, thoughts on the DOJ investigating hedge funds? It's about time. With lots of murmurings about lots of seizures and people under investigation right now. And they should be, because it's been shady business they've been getting away with. And the problem is that after all these investigations and everything, they just get the little slap on the wrist and they pay a $700,000 fine and they made away with like billions of dollars. What they need is to go to prison and to get obliterated. That's kind of where it goes from. Kelly Reed, Houston. Hope you're doing good, man. Was wondering if you were able to take a chance to watch the Gist episode on the Big Reset where he interviewed Melissa Kumel, Chatter 232. I have not seen that one yet. 232. Where'd my pen go? There it is. Chatter 232. Very recent. Okay. Great Reset. Chatter 232. All right. Okay. So, yeah, I'll watch that one, and then Gfont send me whatever document is what you're talking about, and I will check it out. Julie Miller, what do you think of Marco Metzler? He's talking about the stuff we've been talking about since the summer, about bonds and bonds. And when these bonds get defaulted on, then there's hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars. They're just going to evaporate. They were assets under management for folks. This month, the bond obligations for Evergrande skyrockets. It goes into the billions for the interest payments, and they don't have that money. They don't have it at all. So you know. Meow meow. King Griffin fails to deliver in the bedroom. Okay, Kasumi. I want the paperwork to say King Griffin versus Meow Meow. Good luck finding me. Hear about the kid that made the Citadel Air, but for Elon Musk, and Elon tried to pay him $5,000 to take it down. He's like, no. So, I mean, then the kid's like 50 grand, which I think is underbid. The dude's worth $300 billion. You can get a little more out of him than that. Just ask for a cool billion. Why not? You ask high, accept what you wanted. There you go. Fried Tater, aloha from Wahoo. Fried Tater, you got your sticker coming to you, so be ready. It's coming. OG Trader, 165 million Divi shares. So I did that math a little wrong. So it won't be $27. It'll be slightly lower than that if the land sells for $4 billion, which I think is doable. Darren Haya, Houston, could the new MOAS GME collaboration... Sorry, that's a little wrong. Houston, could the new GME collaboration trigger MOAS? No. I mean, what it's going to do is it's probably going to result in billions of dollars in revenue. They made the announcement and the price went down, which is just silly. I mean, when you make an announcement that's like, hey guys, expect $3 billion a year more revenue for our company, basically raising our revenue by, 60% a year, and your stock price doesn't move at all, then that is manipulation. Yeah, I mean, GME is about to become one of those companies once again where they have more in revenue than they do in market cap, which is just silly. I think the only actively traded company right now that earns more revenue per share is Amazon. If I read that correctly, I think that's the only one that's doing that right now. And Amazon's revenue per share is kind of insane, but Amazon has boatloads more debt than Amazon has like $200 billion in debt, and GME only has $45 million in revolving credit, which is not bonds. It's just sort of like, have a little credit here to pay a quick loan or whatever, and they've got, $1.5 billion in cash. So, yeah. Houston, you look refreshed today. I'm slightly refreshed. I'm still a little I'm normally a night owl, but I've been going to bed early and waking up early, and I don't like it at all. I'm going to desperately try and stay awake a long time tonight, but I can already feel like my eye twitching and going, you know what you should really do? You should go to bed right now because you've been awake since 5 in the morning. But I don't like being awake at 5 in the morning. There's nothing to do at 5 in the morning. I like being up late. And she likes sleeping in too. She's like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be in bed till noon, man. That's what you promised me. I'm an astronomer at heart. I like late nights. Okay. Project Son, I want to thank you for doing the things I always forget to do, which is telling everyone to hit the like button. I forget that stuff. Yes. Bandolero San Juan. Houston, does your brother work for Meta? Yes. I talked about that, I don't know, 8 months ago? Yes, he does. That's how I know people at Meta. Pete Diaz, like the pace better. The last stream, that was nuts. Well, last stream, I don't even know what half the comments were in the last stream because I was just railing. So I'm sure people were like, you suck. I hate you so much. I got a lot of those messages. I'm never watching you again. And, I'm like, so what? Then don't watch me ever again. That's okay. I'm still going to do a show. You can watch me or not. I don't care. That's just life, man. And then a couple people got mad at me about Russia. Like, how dare they accuse Russia of these things, accusing Russia of wanting to invade Ukraine. And I was like, Russia already invaded Ukraine, dude. 2014. they lied about it, and then they shot down a passenger jet, and then they lied about that too. You know, and then they like made all these false flag videos where you know, like the people at protests, and then discover like the best part is that the soldiers themselves ruined all that stuff with Instagram. They would like take selfies, and the geotag would have them like 200 miles into the Ukraine, or they would take selfies and would show like a set stage with like 4 protesters with some TV cameras, and it wasn't like a gigantic protest out in Crimea. It's pretty funny, you know. Just don't trust Putin. The United States might not be much better, but Putin is not your buddy. He does not give a crap about you, and he never will. Dumb monkey, are links allowed in chat? I don't think so. I think I can put links in, but I don't think anyone else is allowed to, and I have no idea how to change that. So I'm sorry if it's something on my end that has to get changed, but that might be a YouTube thing to keep folks from spamming the chat. But I can always throw a link in if I need to. Oh, got some Cyrillic letters in there. That's probably somebody yelling at me about Russia or trying to get you to go see naked girls. How far back am I? I'm only like 25 minutes behind. I'm catching up. A Boogie, Houston, first of all, great content. What's your perspective on the possibility of MMTLP squeezing? I'm not sure I believe that theory, but some YouTubers out there seem to think it might happen. Well, I just talked about that. Like, MMTLP is all about the oil sales. And if folks were, you know, shorted 1 billion shares of that stock and the dividend is $20, then they've got a $20 billion liability on their hands, cash liability on their hands. Like, they must pay that money to anyone that has a synthetic share, whether they generated them nakedly or they borrowed them from the owner. They must do a payment in lieu of $20 for every single one of those shares that they sold. And good luck finding $20 billion or so. That won't work out well for you. So if there's recalls that happen, the recalls are going to be the metamaterial shares, because Torchlight doesn't exist anymore, and the MMTLP shares are going to turn into a cash dividend. So if there's anything recall, it's going to be meta shares. So that's why that's the general consensus behind that whole thing. So it's all going to come down to just how much they sell that land for. And they're definitely taking their sweet times, man. BTW. Something's wrong with me. I need help. I'm eating a half-frozen, half-lava-filled Hot Pocket. Well, don't do that. Get a microwave burrito instead. They're so much better. Hey, just me? Any news on Sears? No. But Sears keeps bouncing around on that export market. Any Canadian viewers, can you guys still buy Sears? Because we Americans cannot. So, yeah. Let us know. Persia's Son, ever been to or heard about the Montana Vortex House? Seems pretty cool. It's all optical illusions. There's a couple. I haven't been to that one. I've been to the mystery spot in, is it Santa Cruz or near Santa Cruz? There's a couple of them out there. They're kind of like that, where they do like these weird perspectives where you feel like you're walking uphill, but you're in flat ground, and you're in a flat room, but a pencil still rolls across the floor and stuff like that. Or yeah, this place is really fun to go to. I miss like America being full of those weird roadside attractions. Only a few of them left anymore. PW Brand, have you supposed to be tried to buy a wet food for animals? Everywhere around here has empty shelves. I don't give her wet food because she gets enough like human food throughout the day. And the cat hates it. The cat refuses to eat any wet food. He's like, no. He just likes the cheap, frisky stuff, and he won't eat anything else. So I don't really try to eat that stuff. Although her food, she likes the Purina. What is it? Purina 1. the lamb and rice or whatever. That's like, and that I can't find that stuff anywhere. So I've been having to like give her other food, and she's like, all right, I'll eat it when I have to. But yeah. Get Real's lurking in the shadows. Nick Daru, wait, did he turn the intro off? Yeah, I remember turning the intro off today. Turn off the intro. Muhahaha. BW brand Boogie, we expect Ethereum will go to 30,000, 55,000, 100,000, 300,000 by 2022, 2023, 2025, etc. Everything has some garbage people saying we'll go to XXX by some date. That's true. They're always saying, like, oh, I was told in May that Bitcoin would be $1 million by Christmas. And I was like, no. There's no way to get to $1 million by Christmas if Tethercoin, which has been the primary purchaser, the primary currency used to purchase Bitcoin, is a complete scam. They can't get to $1 million. There's no way. Maybe in the future, maybe someday, but right now, not the way the hedge funds are playing with it, not the way that the scams are just happening again and again and again and again. So, Julianne, Houston, have there been any big inventions in the 21st century that haven't just been an improvement on something that already existed? That's a good one, Monkey. What do you think? Haven't just been improvements on something that already existed. Let's see here. Lithium-ion batteries. When were lithium-ion batteries invented? That'd be a pretty good one. That's probably something that was developed in the 80s and improved upon. Or LEDs, 80s. CMOS, 80s. The new version of digital camera, the guy that invented CMOS, the CCDs that digital cameras use today, he came up with a new one last year, the year before, that can take an obscenely high resolution photo with a very, very tiny chip. What was it called? Inventor of CMOS. Yes, here we go. All right. Scene. A new light innovation from the inventor of CMOS. This is his new thing. They're hoping to have it out in the next couple of years. So it can be like in darkness, you can take color photos, apparently. It's like that sensitive. He worked with Jet Propulsion Lab. When was this? When was the date on this? 2019, maybe? Oh, 6 years ago. Is that how long ago? Man. All right. Time. COVID time is weird. It's like the last 2 years didn't happen. So I'm thinking 2 years ago, but I think I was working at the Art Institute still, so it'd been greater than 2 years ago when that happened. At least 3. Okay. So yeah, apparently he invented a new type of chip that can, collect a single photon from a billion light years away and make an image out of it or something. It's crazy. But yeah, that's a good question. What big inventions? If anybody could think of one, throw one in there. I'd love to pick your brain on that. Big inventions that haven't been just generic improvements. Wireless technology was done in the 80s, like Wi-Fi and stuff. Solid state chips, 80s, but they've been improved upon. I'm just looking around my room trying to think of things that are modern, and I'm really not coming up with any at the moment. That's crazy. Because, the inventions, the smartwatches, things like that, that's all technology. It's not groundbreaking. They just took technology that was in a computer and made it small. Yeah. Accelerometers have existed since before then. What is a big invention? I can't think of one. Julianne, that's a good question. That is a good question. Excellent question. Yeah. I mean, I guess some of the nanotech groups when they're doing really small antennas and things like that. But that's like just kind of marginal improvements. I mean, there's OLED, the organic light emitting diodes that they did for flat panels, which was new. They had flat panels that exist, plasma TVs, and then they would do LED TVs, the backlit LCDs. But then the OLEDs were self light emitting ones. And they could print them with like bubble jet printers and weird stuff like that. I think that was this century. Beyond that, man, I'm gonna be puzzling that one for a while. That's a good question. Pete Diaz, anybody see the Netflix documentary Social Dilemma? No, but I was told I should watch it and I just haven't yet. Is that the one about the dopamine from social media? I think that's what it's about. Tristan Francis, Houston, do you know why we have deja vu moments? Could it be that we lived a different life before we don't know it? Plus, happy birthday. No, I mean, I hope all of you have experienced deja vu. I've had weird moments, deja vu. And now I can't describe a single one of them, but I know I've had them. You know, I remember once having a dream about a building that didn't exist. At the time, it was just like a building that I visited. And then I went to a town near me where like the mall is, and there was a brand new building that was opening. It was that building. It was very weird because that building hadn't existed since the last time I'd been to that town. And that was strange. I mean, who knows? Maybe I saw it in a newspaper and I just wasn't paying attention. It was just an image of it or something, and it got stuck in my subconscious. But yeah, deja vu is weird. Deja vu is very weird. Past lives, I don't know. The only people I know that have claimed to have past lives have been super weird to me. I was at a Christmas party once, and this guy cornered me at this table, like booth thing, and he sat down and he's like got a Bloody Mary and he is crying to me for no reason about how he went on this like peyote experience in the desert, discovered this past life. He was an Indian brave, and just weeping all over me. And I was like, get the hell away from me, you drunk dude. I don't know what's going on. So I don't know if I trust anyone's past life experiences, because that's the only type of person who ever tells me about them. I don't have like somebody who seems totally calm and normal tell me about a past life. It's just some guy who went on peyote who tells me. All right. Another super chat. Sean Alexander. Oh, okay. I gotta do the coordinates. It's the super chat for sure. Okay. Oh, Alamut Castle, home of the original assassins or Hashashin. So this is where we're going to what, Syria, if that's the case? And oh shoot, I forgot to open up Google Earth. So go Google Earth, go. Bing, bing. There we go. We're Earth Googling now. Oh no, it's out in Persia. I thought it was like up in Syria, if I remember correctly. Maybe it's in Persia where they did the murdering. It's a while since I had my history of the Middle East class. I had a really cool textbook the teacher gave us too, and I think I gave it to my dad to just read because I read it cover to cover. It's like the only textbook I ever felt compelled to do that, and man, it was cool. So this is, oh, check that out. All right. Let's see here. Get me in there. Bam. Ah, here we go. Looks like they got some restoration projects going on. But this is very, very defensible hill here. That's for sure. Can I go further? Or am I stuck in this spot? Can I go over there? Can I zoom in? Can I go? Can I? Take me somewhere. Man. That's some cool geology, though. Look at those folds right there. That is awesome. Cool little village. I'd really love to go to Iran and go, like, walk around. There's some really cool stuff there. But, you know, might be a while till I'm allowed to do something like that. There's some kids that graduated a year or two behind me in high school. And after 9/11, when the whole world was like, oh my gosh, we are so sorry that happened to you. And it was like the only time people loved Americans. These kids, their dad basically like just gave them a pile of money because, you know, rich. And he's like, you kids go to the Middle East and walk and just go through all of the Middle Eastern countries, because right now is the only time that they ever like will be nice to you, because we have so much goodwill pouring out to us. And these kids went, you know, through Syria and Iraq and Iran and Kyrgyzstan and Turkmenistan and all these places where generally like Americans don't go. And, you know, within 6 months or so, the U.S. had ruined all that goodwill. And so that was the only window that you had a chance to do that in recent history. And I was pretty jealous of them. But man, what a gorgeous view. That's a pretty nice view up there. Especially, look at this. Look at those things. Look at that. Just cocoon the entire block, tilted all the way over 90 degrees. That's awesome. That's really awesome. You're just like looking at hundreds of millions of years, just right there. Okay, back to Big Houston. Good one, Sean Alexander. I like that one. Sean Alexander, are you the Sean Alexander who played for the Seahawks? Okay. Max Strong, man. Max Strong helped Sean Alexander get all those yards, and then he retired, and, well, all right. VW Brand says he doubts silver will move much because the banks have that market cornered. I don't know. Last time around, silver almost hit $50. What, 2011, when gold was doing 2,000 for the first time. So, you know, if silver hits $50, that's a big deal for silver. I worked with a guy back then who was convinced that silver was going to go to $5,000, and I was like, totally, dude. No, silver's not going to go 5. Silver is a base metal. It is not a precious metal. Silver is everywhere. There's a lot of silver out there. That's why it's used in like common currency coins and stuff. So you'll never get silver to $5,000 unless the U.S. dollar becomes worth nothing. Okay. Houston, how come Immutable X is not big news? Because the hedge funds shorted everything down and then told all the news agencies not to talk about it. That's why. Michael Arrow, Houston, I think he means Custer's last stand. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Oh, shoot. And, of course, the stupid chat just reset again. And dang it, chat. Okay. Oh, man, I totally lost my spot here. There it is. Okay, there's Mutable X question. Oh, thank you. So I'm only 35 minutes behind the chat. We'll get there. I just got to stop answering the same questions over and over again, because that's one problem I have, is that I answer it and then I see it 10 minutes later and answer it again. I should just say, start from the beginning and catch up. Okay. Number of letters. What's going on with Apple in the 20-to-1 split? Apple's doing a 20-to-1? I thought it was Google that's doing a 20-to-1 split. Is Apple doing one also? That's crazy. Apple has so many shares. It is ridiculous how many Apple shares exist. Just bonkers. Yeah. Dude, that's some gross mouth sounds you're making there. Those some gross mouth sounds. That's okay, though. You're a good dog. Two-wheel freedom. Bullish for GME to become a blue chip stock. I mean, it kind of is. It kind of is. It should be an S&P 500 stock for sure. All right. Talk about AMC, please. The only news I have from AMC is that they finally, essentially, they got better deals on debt and were able to pay off their really high interest stuff. So they basically lowered the interest rates to something reasonable because they had $500 million in bonds that were at 10.5%, which is a lot. So they managed to get rid of that, and they replaced it. So they still have the same amount of debt they had before. It's just their payments are at a lower interest rate, so that's a good thing for them. And thankfully they make even convertible bonds, which is wonderful. Convertible bond stuff that's bad news. That's bad news for investors to dilute the float again. Oh, excuse me, the jet lag is starting to just get me again. Yeah, so that's good. That's very good. I would like to see now plans for paying off the debt. Total, not just renegotiating. Now they've renegotiated, it gives a little window, a little more revenue they can keep. So I would like to see what their plans are to get rid of that debt. That'd be nice. Barf, barf, boo. So go to Paris. Got it. Yeah, if you want a wide selection of giant butts walking around, Paris is a surprisingly great place. It wasn't that way in the past. Gotta go. You had to go like Brazil for that. Okay, purportedly stupid. Houston, not financial advice. I'm wondering if it is a good idea to buy MMTLP. It was $1.25, so I bought a little. Am I stupid as I look? I mean, I pick up a little bit more each time I got some extra cash. If the land sells for the way it does, then you're making like $20 in each one of those things. So if you can get 20x on investment, why wouldn't you do that? I was chatting with a guy earlier today. Had like 22,000 of them. I was like, damn, that might be like $400,000. That's really good on you. I don't have anything close to that, so I want this stuff to pay off now because I don't know. I just am tired. Just everything just pay off now. Just get it over with so I can just sit on a beach and let monkey butt chase birds or something. Project Sun, Houston, have you seen Primer or read Debt the First 5,000 Years yet? Someone told me I got Debt the First 5,000 Years. Someone told me to read that a while ago. I have not gotten there yet. I've not seen Primer. I don't remember. Someone may have asked me about Primer. You may have asked me about Primer before. I don't remember what that is now at this point. But no. Debt the First 5,000 Years is definitely on the list, though. I will give that sucker a read next go around. I just finished a couple of books on this trip. When you got 15 hours of flights, you can read a lot of books, and a lot of train rides, you can read a lot of books. So, yeah, I've got a big list though. There's a lot of things that I have to get in there. And, I got given this awesome thing, Thrill the Chase. I don't think I'd ever read the whole thing. It's still wrapping. Someone sent this to me in the post office box, so that's awesome. A reminder, I still have, 75 or so Houston We Have a Problem stickers. So if you want a Houston We Have a Problem sticker, send a self-addressed envelope to the P.O. box in the description below, and I will send you a sticker in your self-addressed envelope. So I hope I have to go check the P.O. box again, but I hope a few more of you sent me some self-addressed envelopes, and I can spread the love. I was going to take a few of these to Europe and slap them on stuff, and I totally forgot. And then I got to the first lift chair going up, and there was like a sticker on one of the poles lift chair. I was like, oh man, that's what I was going to do. I forgot to do it. All right. What we got? Okay. Ask the same question over again. BW Brand, Houston, have you heard the reports Russia was planning a stage attack with actors and explosions? Lol. Trying to use pretext for invasion. Old play out book out there. Yeah, that was the stuff they talked about yesterday. It's yeah, that's what they did in 2014, the first time they invaded Ukraine, which technically they're still in Ukraine, a whole bunch of them. And they're claiming that their soldiers weren't there, but then their soldiers were taking selfies. Like, yeah, we can see the geotag location. You're there, buddy. It's not that hard. Not hopefully, but if I were the Russian military brass, I would take the phones away from all my soldiers. Because, loose sink ships and that whole thing. Okay, Mr. Diamond Hands also gave me a coordinate here. Where are we going? This northern Canada? Greenland? Scene. Northern Canada. Oh, here we go. Big astrobleem. This is a gigantic meteor impact from like 230 million years ago. Something like that. So this is a huge crater with an island in the middle that resulted. And where's the Wikipedia thing? There it is. So, yeah, Manigonquin crater. 215 million years ago. So I was off. I was off by 15 million years. Yeah. And the rock it's on is from 228 million years ago. Yeah, that's where I got the 230 number from. So it's a huge crater. Absolutely gigantic. Triassic period. 100 kilometers across. Dang. So, yeah. So it's the 5th largest confirmed impact crater. If this thing had hit today, we'd all be dead. It would have wiped us out. That's a big crater. So that's 100 kilometers across. That's really big. And then there's another. The Sudbury one is not too far away. Sudbury. This is another one. It was a big giant iron nickel meteor that hit, and that's why there's all this nickel mining here now, because that's from that asteroid. So it's a little harder to see because I think glaciers kind of wiped out most of it. But this whole area is also an impact crater. So there's some big ones out there. But it's really cool. This one's really cool looking because it's just like a nice weird circle ring lake. What a weird looking lake, right? It's so cool looking. I love it. I love it. That's a good one. That's a good one, Diamond Hands. Let's see here. Robert Kraft. Ken Tang, Robert Kraft says Putin took a Super Bowl championship ring. Yep. Yeah, he went and Putin asked if he could see it. So Robert Kraft took it off his hand and handed it to Putin. And Putin went, cool. And handed it one of his goons, and the goon just walked away with it. Robert Kraft's like, can I get that back? And Putin's like, no. So they had to make another Super Bowl ring for Robert Kraft because Putin stole his other one. That's ballsy. That's some balls. That is definitely like asserting your dominance over somebody from one billionaire to another. That is huge cojones to do. And Robert Kraft was like, okay, I guess you get to keep my Super Bowl ring. And then Robert Kraft went on to famously star in a mass arrest of trafficked women at a massage parlor in Florida. So, there you go. Michael Hero, Houston, there is a funny YouTube video of Putin in a Russian hockey game skating around the rink, waving to the crowd, and then he falls flat in his face. Didn't he hit like a carpet or something they laid out? He's just skating along, and then poof, it's like hitting a rock while you're skateboarding. Yeah. World leaders fall, man. Biden certainly does it. Gerald Ford did it all the time too. Trip and fall. George Baskets, haven't done any research as to why Tether is a scam. Tether is a scam because all the money people paid to buy Tether coins is gone. So the idea behind Tether is they get this 1-to-1 ratio. So if a dollar's worth a dollar, Tether's worth a dollar. That's it. It's tied entirely to the dollar. And you give them your cash, and they give you this digital coin you can use to then buy other digital currencies on all sorts of different platforms and trading wallets and stuff. So $70 billion in cash went to Tether coin. And the idea is that Tether coin would take that money and put it into some sort of market account or whatever, so it gains interest. And then when you need to sell your Bitcoin, you get Tether back, you can take it to Tether and get your cash back from them. Well, they took the $70 billion from everyone, and then it's gone. No one knows where it is. No one knows even who owns Tether. All they know is that there's a British Virgin Islands bank account that should have $70 billion in it, and they only found 3 cents of every dollar left. The rest of it was just gone. So 80% of all Bitcoin trades are done using US dollar Tether coin, and the money used to buy that is just gone. So if there's ever a run on the bank, if there's ever a run on US dollar Tether coin, they don't have your money. It's gone. It does not exist. They took it and they hid it somewhere and no one knows where. So that's the big scam on US dollar Tether coin. And no one knows who owns it. And they'll print, like the other day they just printed like another $1 billion in Tether coin, just like, oh, we'll mint more Tether coin, and then they sold it all and that money's gone too. I don't know why people are still using it. Honestly, right? Do you know why? I don't know why. Yeah, so I'll stretch it out there, dog. Oh, that's a good stretch. Yes, you're a good stretcher. You want to come say hi? You want to come say hi to everyone? Okay, there we go. There's a monkey butt saying hi. Oh, I smell my breath. Yes, you love smelling my breath because you're a dog. Okay. Sean Gardner, the tourist mystery spot is a tourist trap. It's definitely a tourist trap, the mystery spot. That is what it's for. I love it. Self-driving cars? Yeah, self-driving cars are a good one. Yeah, self-driving cars are a new invention. They were like thought of a long time ago. No one ever worked on it until recently. Quantum image sensor. Yes. Any of the other ideas in there? I mean, the solid state batteries, the solid state batteries, the super capacitors that guys like GMG and others are working on. That's a new invention. That's new. Graphene's new. Graphene was invented in 2004. Now I'm thinking of stuff. What else? That it? That might be it. I don't know. Can't think of any more. Project Sun, random invention. The ability to change depth of field in images after the image was taken. Ah. That's true. One of the trippiest things I ever did was when the 3D Blu-ray DVD players came out. I had the Samsung one, and I took Star Wars, and I put Star Wars in there, and there's an option to render the entire movie in 3D. And then you put your 3D goggles on and watch. And it was really funny to see what the algorithm would decide was the foreground, the background. And sometimes, Luke Skywalker is walking along a canyon wall, but the canyon wall is projecting towards you, and Luke is somehow behind the image. And it was really weird. It was so weird to watch, so trippy. If you get the opportunity to do that, I recommend it. It's a really weird way to watch a movie. So, do that. Edward Conkle, nuclear diamond batteries are new technology. There you go. Nanotubes. I think nanotubes exist prior to the 2000s. I have to look that one up. Carbon nanotubes. Thought they were a 90s invention. Carbon nanotubes. Google Earth. Chrome. Where's the history? It'll tell me history. History, structure, physics, variance, synthesis, modeling, applicant history. There we go. 91. Okay. Wait. Trade identity discovery now to it's going to be 2006 editorial. It's got the origin. Turns out the timeline carbon nanotube goes back further, 1991. All right. Note 52. Someone published clear images of it. So I think the background for it definitely is newer than that. Legacy 10 Productions, Houston, is it even remotely possible for the SEC to find out who specifically is manipulating the market and proving it? Who has big-ass puts on these big stocks? Is this traceable? Go M's, happy birthday. Yeah, it should be. I mean, there's a ledger. Every prime broker and investment bank, they should be able to see what the margin looks like and what the assets under management looks like for every hedge fund underneath them that they're lending to. You would think that they would be able to see that stuff. And then the DTC computers and all the subsidiary computers, the NSCC and the OSCC and the DTC, like all those computers that manage these trades, there should be a ledger. And the thing is that they never let anyone look at that ledger. But there should be a ledger at the DTCC that shows the ownership of all this stuff. I think it would be amazing if the DOJ, got a subpoena to look at that ledger. I don't know if they'd ever do it because for some reason those folks have been untouchable. There's been plenty of subpoenas for them to show that stuff in lawsuits, and they just managed to never do it. What? Number letters. I walked into my bathroom one morning and was so confused that I couldn't pinpoint my location. I don't know. That might be a medical condition. You may want to go talk to a doctor about that one. I may have had it where I had a really good night's sleep and forgot that I'd crashed at a friend's house and woke up and be like, where the hell am I? But that's slightly different than walking into my own bathroom and not knowing where I am. Oh, Vanta Black. Vanta Black is pretty cool. It's blacker than black. My friend has a t-shirt that says, I only wear black until they invent something darker. All right. BW brand, James Webb Telescope won't be interesting until June. Yeah, it's about when first light is supposed to happen for first image for James Webb. So yeah, there's going to be unfolding things slowly and double checking systems and stuff until then. It's going to be a while. Jordan Kimmery, I'd pay good money to watch you take ayahuasca and describe your experience immediately after. Be interesting to see the space knowledge in your brain mix with pretty colors. Probably. I was reading a funny story about a guy who went on one of those ayahuasca, what do they call them? Voyage, the seeing voyage trips, whatever they call them. And everyone was seeing their spirit animals and meeting ancestors from their past and whatever. And this guy just apparently tripped for an entire day about how his car was asking him to just do a better job maintaining it. Just keep up with the maintenance, man. Get my oil changed, check my tires. And he said it was the most depressing thing because everyone was describing all these beautiful things, and he was like, I need to treat my car better than I do. Oh, you just, god dang you, resetting piece of, there we go. Good thing I highlight these questions so I actually get back to where I get. I see you guys in the chat trying to get me to go off another rant right now. I'm going to try and keep my Friday rant free and give you another 15 minutes of chit-chatting, and hopefully we can go a couple of weeks before, I got to explode again. And I see you baiting me in there. I'm not taking the bait today. BW brand gene editing happens every time you make a kid. Just CRISPR. Is CRISPR invented in the 2000s? Let's come on, take it back. Oh, wrong way. Ah, crap. Take me there. CRISPR. Give me history. History. Boom. Bam. So, discovery of DNA, pH partitions, 87. They accidentally cloned part of a CRISPR sequence together with the IAP gene. So that's accidental in 87. 93 researchers recognize diversity sequence and use that property. So CRISPR-associated systems. So 2005 is when they actually started independently doing major research on it. So they saw the looks like they saw the potential as far back as the 80s and 90s. But the tech itself wasn't until 2000. So yeah, there you go. CRISPR's one. Bam. Shaboom. CRISPR's a new one. There we go. Good job. All right. And where did my highlight go? I lost my highlight. Where are you? Ah, crap. I totally lost the CRISPR thing. Okay, there's James Webb Telescope imaging. There's CRISPR. Okay. Google's up 10%, says Liz Clayman. All right. Okay. Silicone butt injections are new. That's true. But they're doing the Brazilian butt lift one is the BBLs they talk about. Those ones, I think they take like fat from your belly and they stick it in your butt. So they're injecting your own butt in there rather than the silicone ones that make like silicone ones. I guess were like eventually sliding down the back of ladies' legs. There was some crazy photo I saw years ago of what's that chick's name? Monkey Butt, the one that sings the Anaconda song. She had big boobs and big butt. What's her name, Monkey? But like apparently her butt was sliding down. Like, oh, time to get that shoved back up there again. You can just do squats. If you want a butt, just do some squats. Do lots of squats. You'll get a butt. That's what happens. But I guess you can have like a giant butt and just skinny little chicken legs that come out of there. But yeah. Moody's upgraded AMC. Good. Because getting rid of that horrible debt or refinancing it for much lower rate will help your rating for sure. Always on. If the sun explodes, is Earth immediately done, or is there a timeline of events? Oh, well, the sun isn't massive enough to explode. That would require supernova, so you have to get a star that's like 8 times the size of the sun to ever go supernova. But if it did explode, the Earth would just cease to exist. the violence of such an explosion, supernova eruption, just the neutron flux that comes out of an eruption like that, if it were to happen 30 to 100 light years away, just the neutron flux would sanitize the surface of the Earth. There would not be a single living thing because all the neutrons would have sliced every single solitary piece of DNA in every creature and every organism on the planet. Bacteria, you name it. If it wasn't covered with a giant rock blocking that neutron flux, you are dead. Nicki Minaj, thank you. That's what I'm thinking about. Nicki Minaj. There we are. Yeah. So if the sun were to go supernova somehow, the Earth would just evaporate and be gone. Wouldn't exist anymore. It would take maybe 9 minutes for the explosion to reach us. So it would happen, and we'd have we wouldn't know it. But then all of a sudden, 9 minutes later, it would wipe the Earth from existence. Supernovas are gnarly. Okay. Jordan Kimmery, AMC's going to have to do something crazy. I'm not impressed that they have cash on hand. If they have all that debt and aren't profitable, there is a reason they wanted to raise more cash with shares. Yes. Well, they were taking on more debt to acquire more movie theaters. So they're spreading themselves out rather than paying off debt, which I'm not sure was the best move. But, you know, I guess you expand your reach when you can. BW Brand, my mom beat me blue for putting stickers on furniture. We shouldn't have put stickers on furniture, man. That's your first problem right there. Okay. AV Diggity, is it still possible by Sears SHDLQ? If you're in Canada, apparently, none of the Canadians chimed in whether they can still buy it or not, or at least I missed it. If you're in Canada, you can. If in the U.S., apparently you can't. They put it into the expert market, which is insider hedge funds and large institutions that can still trade it around. You can own it if you bought it before then, but it was like September 3rd or something. They've moved it to that expert market, and we haven't been able to buy it since. We can sell it, but we can't buy it. Bill Coin, how do you know the transparency rule won't take effect for 3 years? Because it's in the rule. And I want to say it's page 128. It was 129. 2 shows ago, 103, in the comments after the show, somebody asked me where it is, and I put a link and a quote to it in there. And basically said that implementing this would be a giant burden, so there's like a 3-year window before we really start cracking down. So it's getting to give them time before they have to like have the infrastructure to be able to do that 15-minute reporting that's going to be required. So that's like they might implement it, you know, in 30 days after they pass the rule, but that 30 days starts that 3-year clock before they do anything about it. Pete Diaz, did you know it costs 1.76 cents to produce 1 cent? And that is a problem. Yes, because pennies made of zinc. They had moved from copper to zinc, and then copper plated because copper was cheaper than zinc. But zinc is now, what, like $1.60 a pound? So, how much does a penny weigh? I have no idea how much a penny weighs. Weight of how many pennies? How is that? How many pennies in 1 pound? 240 pennies makes a pound. Okay. So, we do a little calculator here. Calculator. Got to get rid of the chromes. Calculator's up. There we are. So, 240 pennies in a pound. And if a pound costs $1.60, right? Divide that sucker by 240. And just the zinc alone is 0.6 cents. So just getting the zinc, just buying the raw material is 0.6 cents. And then you need all the machinery and the upkeep and the tooling to roll that out into a sheet that's, you know, penny thick. And you got to stamp it. You got to package it. You got to ship it. And you got to copper plate it. So you got to buy the copper too. So yeah, so just the raw material, just like the ingots of zinc, is going to cost you 60% of the value of an entire penny to begin with. So, yeah. That's why Canada got rid of the penny. They got rid of it, 10 years ago? So, that's gone. Because they're doing the same thing. They're buying zinc, and their penny's worth even less than ours. So, why would they have that? I wouldn't doubt if we get rid of the penny in the next 10 years or so. Yeah. G-Font, ever seen a superfluid? Check out helium at the near absolute zero, has no viscosity and flows upward. Go science. I've only seen it in video. I've never actually seen it in person. We had, at like Super Telescope, they've got superfluid coolants going through a lot of those processors and machinery. But you can't see it. So I never really got to see it. I just knew it was like in the tubes that went around. But yeah, those superfluids do weird stuff. The helium superfluids, they got them so cold and so close to absolute zero that it and the vessel it was in basically stopped moving. And then when they stopped moving, they just kind of osmized through each other. So the helium just sort of came out of the vessel because they just passed right by the other atoms because the electrons had basically no static charge anymore. They just osmized right through. That's pretty cool. Okay. Sean Gardner says Primer is one of the best sci-fi movies of all time. Well, that's a good review right there. I like myself a good sci-fi Primer. Okay. I have to watch myself some Primer. Does anyone know what streaming service it's on? So I don't have to like do the whole internet search trying to find it. Jordan Kim, we should have our pennies made in China. Okay. Michael Hero Houston, did you see the Notre Dame when you're in Paris? Is it rebuilt? Oh no, it's going to take probably decades for them to rebuild. They've got a pretty cool, like you can't get close to it, but they have these really big like construction barricades, but all of them have photographs of the damage and then what's getting replaced. And I guess they're updating the images on those as time goes on. So they explain like how the joists got damaged, and how the contractors are building new ones to put up to support the new roof. And it's pretty neat. And they do it in several languages. So they've got like French and German and English and stuff explaining each one of the images. So I did a walk around Notre Dame reading like how the progress is all going. A church like that would take like 100 years to build in the first place. So, they can do it faster with modern tech with cranes and whatnot, but still it's a very time consuming type of construction. Especially like entire generations will be spent doing that. They haven't begun to clean any of the stained glass windows. So all of them just look charred and black still. So I don't know. I mean, that might be one of the last things they do. I don't know. They might not want to take the windows out until the walls are all secured with the joists and stuff. But it's going to be a while. It's going to be a long while until Notre Dame is back again. All right, 8:28. Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to skip down towards the end here and see if I can do a couple. My brain is slowly turning off because my sleep schedule is not the way it should be. Crypto's running right now. What? They must be pumping it for the weekend or something. Or maybe they took all their gains from the puts and calls they did on Facebook and others and absolutely just went bonkers. Let's see here. Crypto. Go into the crypto. Oh crap! It is running big. Wow, Zach's back up to 115. Zcash is up 15%. Bitcoin's up 10%. Dogecoin's up 6%. Ethereum is up 8%. And Litecoin up 9%. So, yeah, it's running. How about the shitty? I mean, are my shit coins running? No, my shit coins are getting hammered down right now. Sigh. All right. Well, there you go. Okay. BW Brand, I heard there may be a collision of two black holes sometime soon. They've been watching a pair lately, and they could go anytime. Yes. So that is the what do they call it? The linear observatories. There's one in Hanford, Washington, one down in Louisiana. What's the name of those things, Monkey? The gravitational observatories. This is what happens. I'm getting tired and I can't think of things. Gravitational observatory, Hanford. LIGO. Oh, that's the name of it. Dang it. Why couldn't I think of LIGO? Yeah. The Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory. LIGO. So they build these things at a 90-degree angle, perfectly flat. Bing! and they're like 3 or 4 miles long, and they have a two-way mirror at a 45-degree angle, and they fire a laser out one, and they got a receptor on the other. And so half the light goes one direction, half the light goes the other direction, and they hit tiny little dangling mirrors at one end and reflect back, and they are perfectly calibrated to be exactly the same length. And so when a gravitational wave pulses through due to general relativity, it can cause deformations in the space-time continuum, ever so slightly. So if there's no deformations happening, the laser hits both little mirrors and comes back, and when they combine, they should cancel each other out because their wavelengths should be in sync. And so they should cancel each other out and disappear. But if the space-time gets deformed one way or the other, they will arrive back and they'll be out of wavelength, and they'll hit the receptors on either end when they pass back through. And so that's how it took them decades to calibrate this thing. So they have one here in Washington at Hanford, where the nuclear crap is, and then one down in Louisiana. And they can actually use both of those stations to start to triangulate the direction of where these gravitational waves are coming from. And the gravitational waves are formed from huge gravitational bodies that are orbiting each other. And as they do so, they really mess up the center of gravity. It wobbles a lot, and that sends these pulsations throughout the universe that just kind of, just like the tiniest little scale, bobble and weave the space-time continuum. And it's crazy. So they use it to locate, I think it was neutron stars that were colliding. And then they found in 2017, somewhere around then, they found 2 black holes that collide, supermassive black holes, really big ones that collided. They were 50 times the size of our sun. And now they must be finding a couple more that are going to happen. When the neutron stars collided, what came out of it was a ton of heavy metals. So all this gold and uranium exploded out because all these heavy metals got formed out of the collision of these two things. That stuff's pretty rad. But yeah, LIGO. LIGO is the name of the observatory, and it took them 30 years to build this thing, and just because it has to be calibrated, because you're dealing with laser wavelengths that are on 400 nanometers. They're really tiny, and you just need the slightest change in the size of either one of those chambers that the laser goes through, and I'll tell you what type of gravitational wave is going. It is some of the craziest, most precise science I've ever seen done, ever. I do not have the attention to detail to do something like that, man. It's crazy. Okay. All right. Okay. Dome Lucky sure is amazing. Monkey Butt looks friggin' adorable. Way too excited. Hopefully get that sticker. Oh, you get one of the stickers? Awesome. We should afford to pay you to do more shows. Cheers from Georgia. That's all right. If I can do 3, maybe 4 shows a week, then I'm on target. I was hoping to maybe get to 5, but I don't know. I don't know if I have enough to talk about for 5 shows a week. I don't know how those dudes do 8-hour days every single day. I don't know how they do it. I'm exhausted after 2. We're at 2 hours. I'm like, whew. Oh man. Yes. Reminder: send self-addressed envelopes to the P.O. box in the description, and I'll get you a sticker. And I'll keep sending stickers until I run out. And any self-addressed envelopes after that get Valpak coupons. And there you go. I didn't go on any rants tonight. I managed to keep that sucker calm and centered my chi. And there we go. So, right, Monkey? Yeah, we're cool. You're cool. I'm cool. Call it a night. See you guys on Monday. That sound good? Yeah, why not? See you on Monday. I'm sure, I have a feeling that Monday is going to be, we're going to get hammered so hard. Get hammered so hard by the shorts. I think they've got a boatload, just like an absolute boatload of margin to just murder us with right now. So expect that. That's fully what I think is going to happen. Monkey Butt, want to spit him a do? Yeah, you do. There you go. Okay, goodbye from us. We'll catch you on Monday, and I'll see y'all later. One more time for the happy fans. Ready? 1, 2, 3, boom.